Hi, everybody.
Hi.
How are you
Hello.
doing? How is it going? Welcome to Queer Visitors. Please type Oz in the chat if you can see us and you can hear us and you're with us tonight, this evening. Great. There's flooding the chat. So hi everyone. My name is Jonathan and I am with Drag Story Hour. We are the magic behind Queer Visitors. Thank you for joining Drag Story Hour's first LGBTQIA plus queer book club for adults. And I am technically not hosting, but maybe emceeing, but would love to introduce you to one of our amazing hosts tonight. Nana Tuckit, who is coming to you live from Portland and is from with this live studio audience. Nana is a
I
Portland.
am live and in person here.
Yes,
I'm at the cutest, coziest queer bookstore in Portland. It's
and
called Honey Words. It's adorable. It's curated with trans joy and queer wonder. And they are full of well-loved queer, all kinds of genres and art, as you can see behind me. And they also like to make custom queer book boxes.
we're here for it. Nana is a Portland-based drag artist. You may know her from TikTok or Instagram. She has these amazing videos and is an amazing um, advocate and ally and voice for the community. She is new to Drag Story Hour and has been hosting some of our adult events, which is really amazing. So we're so happy to have Nana with us and so happy to have y'all here. Um, we are
I'm so
just
here. I can't
same,
wait to see what's going to happen.
same girl. Um, okay, so this is our first programming for adults, so bear with us. Like I'm used to doing programming with children, so this is very new. So in the chat, maybe throw in an X if you've read the first book completely. Who has read the entire book?
I have. I did my homework.
I love it. According to the chat, 2 people have read the book, or five people. I love it.
Well, they
6.
watched
No.
the movie. Does that count? It's very different in some places, though.
Oh, the link is okay. Sorry, the link is not working for Tori. Let me give them the
Yeah, we
link
gotta
again.
get Tori in here.
I know that's okay. Let's see if this works for them. Okay. Um, give me a second, y'all. I'm sorry.
Type fierce into the chat if you think I look good tonight. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. What if nobody types fierce?
Okay. You know, y'all, like, no matter how many tech rehearsals you do, sometimes they just don't work. Great. We have people from the Lower East Side. Yeah, we're gonna read the entire book together right now. So hope you all have 6 hours. Um,
I'm gonna need a snack.
great. So once we get Nana, once we get Tori in here, Nana, tell us more about like you as a drag artist and your kind of background, how you got into Queer Visitors and how you got connected.
So I started doing drag during pandemic lockdown. I've always been creative, and my whole life I've just tried anything that was creative. I've done theater and I've danced my whole life. And it was a time where I couldn't be around other people. And I thought, you know what, maybe I'm just gonna be my own project. I'm going to dress myself up and be this character. And so I just started playing with makeup and figuring out how to do it, and started telling stories on social media. I started out talking about history and tidbits about holidays and things like that. And then it kind of took off, and people seemed to like me. So I started talking more about politics, and I talk about social issues, and I really wanted to use the platform to become a voice for my community and talk about LGBTQIA plus issues and the way we are experiencing the world right now, which, if you may have noticed, it's very interesting. And by interesting, I mean terrible. So, I'm here to be a voice to stand up for our community. And I'm just excited to do that. And I am so excited that I got hooked up with Drag Story Hour. It's been such a wonderful opportunity. Tori, wait, I see your face. You're there. Tori, you're very small, but I see you. It's amazing. Yay! But I can't hear you though. Okay, well, we can see Tori, and soon we'll be able to hear Tori. But yeah, so Drag Story Hour. I started doing some promotional videos and stuff for Drag Story Hour, and I actually got to host karaoke that was presented by Drag Story Hour for the Booksellers Association convention here in Portland. Maybe it was a few months ago, and yeah, I'm just excited to see what I can do in the future. I grew up reading as many books as I could. I won my fourth grade reading competition, so not to brag, but I really know how to pretend I read the most amount of books. So,
She is
no, I'm serious.
well.
I read them all. I read them all.
Can you hear me
Tori,
now?
we can hear you.
Tori,
Miracle.
you're
Y'all,
here.
we did do a tech rehearsal. We did, and
We
it went
did, and I'm not sure what happened.
flawlessly.
I'm so sorry, guys. Hi, everybody. So sorry about
It's
the
okay. This happens.
It's a live
I
show.
So everyone, so all queer visitors, please welcome Tori, who was the founder of the Oz vlog, who is an Oz historian, who's been collecting Oz memorabilia for like 27 years now.
28.
And woo, girl,
Yeah,
getting
we
up
just,
there.
just keep adding up.
So she started posting to this new platform back in 2007. Called YouTube, and then found the Yellow Brick Road. And then in 2021, started posting content to TikTok and Instagram. And now in 2025, Tori is a multi-platform content creator and is a trusted source for all things Oz. And the Oz Vlogs has helped connected fans and collectors around the world through the wonders of social media. So we're so happy and so grateful to have Tori here. Tori, can you tell everyone what you're doing right now?
So right this minute, I am actually in front of the amazing collection of Miss Tiffany Sutton in Los Angeles at Follow the Yellow Brick Girl. We are here in LA right now because last night we went to the live taping of Wicked One Wonderful Night, the live special that's going to be airing on NBC this November 6th, 2025. And we had a lovely time. So I'm joining you here from the West Coast.
So amazing. I'm obsessed. Great. I think we are just gonna jump right into it if that works for everybody.
Let's get jumping.
We're going to jump into it. So just so y'all know, a little housekeeping is that we are probably going to only have Tori and Nana on stage and just my voice behind the curtain booming to you. And closer to the end of the meeting, we're going to announce the winner of our Augment and Tweak giveaway. And we're going to announce our second book for the series. So that's how it's going to go. So the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, celebrating its 125th year, which is pretty crazy.
I know.
And we're going to get into some topics, and I would love for people to add to the chat, and I will monitor it as best as possible, and we'll go from there. So there's lots of themes in the Wonderful Wizard of Oz that we could talk about for days and days and have a whole dissertation collegiate series on, but we only have about 45 minutes, so we're going to get through the queerest topics possible, and then let's continue this conversation offline and keep connected and talk about it. So I pulled some quotes, and I'm going to ask some questions to our host, and let's just delve into it. So a big thing that I kind of discovered was toxic masculinity and gender expectations in the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. And a big thing was Cowardly Lion's shame. And this is a quote from the book is, "I am such a coward. I haven't had any courage at all." And I feel like the lion feels like they have failed at masculinity because he feels fear. But yet in the book, he constantly acts brave to protect his friends, and his cowardness really is self-doubt fueled by toxic, external expressions. So I would love to ask y'all, um, how do you think society still equates courage with dominance, aggression, and fearlessness?
Well, I think the lion is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, he's looked around at the world around him. He feels societal pressure to be the king of beasts and feels that he's failing to rise to that occasion. What I love about all of the characters in Oz, though, especially the core five characters that we follow throughout The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, the Scarecrow, Dorothy, the Tin Woodman, and the Lion, and Toto, is that they don't impart those societal pressures on one another. The lion does brave things, and his friends acknowledge his bravery and his courage. And but he doesn't absorb their positivity. The only messages he takes in are the negative messages that he's received throughout his life. And we don't really know much about what happened before they met him, but clearly he doesn't feel that he is living up to his title as the king of the forest. So what I love is that through his found family is really how he comes to be a braver person. The wizard doesn't actually do anything for him, but through the love that he feels for his friends, he finds the courage within, and they nurture that in him. And I just love that. But that is something that I think we all experience walking through the world. I think we look at the world around us and we see the magazine covers, and none of us really feel like we're living up to our potential, be it being productive enough or being beautiful enough, being wealthy enough. And I think the lesson we can draw from the lion and his friends is that we need to lean into the people who love us for who we are. And those things, the things that are meant to come to us, will find their way.
Yeah, and I think it's difficult because, like you said, even your group of core friends can be very supportive and not treating you that way. But the pressures from society are so overwhelming that it takes a long time to hear those voices from your circle of friends. Take it in.
I love this. And I do feel like there is courage and vulnerability and
You know,
courage in it. Yeah.
the word courage, I think, stems from heart in action. I think that's what it actually means. So to me, courage can be still. I can be sitting here with stuff coming at me, but courage for me is my heart in action, being who I am in this moment. And that can stand up to anything that's coming at me. So it's interesting that we equate courage with uh, action, doing something physical, or being brave like that. But I think uh, courage if you take it for its true meaning, heart and action. I just love that I can be my true self and feel my heart and what it wants to present to the world, and that's courage for me.
100%. Wow.
Queer people, we have to have courage. Trans people, we all have to have courage. How much courage people have to just exist on a daily basis in this world. Um, that's courageous with everything that's coming at us.
Absolutely.
What kind of courage rooted in vulnerability or care do do you see in life, especially queer life?
Like I said, I think just getting up every day and existing as you are is courageous to me. That's a courageous act. Not giving in to anything that's coming at you from the outside world, staying true to who you are. Um, I think that's very courageous.
There are a lot of loud and powerful voices right now telling you that you're not legitimate and that your existence is not legitimate in the LGBTQIA plus community. Those voices can seem very loud and oppressive. There are still more people who don't feel that way. And I would encourage all of you to lean into the voices who are saying we're with you and that we believe in you and we love you and we accept you and you belong here because you do. And there are more of us than there are of them.
I hope you're right, Tori.
So near, I want to say maybe the middle of the novel, the wizard admits his authority is a facade, and his power relies on bluster and spectacle, and he's hiding his true self, mirroring how toxic masculinity demands constant performance.
Mm.
Where do we see this kind of like humbug masculinity? And in the book, the wizard says, "I am a humbug." So, where do we see this humbug masculinity in 2025 with celebrities or influencers or leaders? How is that like kind of like
where,
showing?
where don't we see it?
I was going to say from the White
You
House
look at
from the White House to the dating apps. My
uh,
friends who are still on dating apps, all you have to do is scroll on Bumble a little bit to find all the toxic masculinity you can ever wish for.
what what does it mean when people project strength that don't actually embody it?
I
what does
think
it mean? I mean, I think it's. I think
Like does that do damage? Like what damage is caused when especially men project strength that don't
Yeah, of
actually
course, because
embody it?
they're taught that vulnerability is a weakness, and they'll protect that at any cost, right? So until the day that we can teach people, men, that they can be sensitive and vulnerable and not be afraid to show emotions, we're going to have these issues with um, that kind of show of strength and protecting all that, not letting their walls come down. And that comes out in just such ugly ways. Um, I think it's really hurtful to society and ultimately themselves.
this is another place where the Oz books are a great guidebook for navigating the world because throughout L. Frank Baum's 14 novel series, love of difference is really emphasized. There's a lot of gender fluidity throughout the books, and the main characters of the Oz books accept and love one another, no matter what. And that doesn't mean that they don't get annoyed with one another and there's not drama, because there is. But they, at the end of the day, they love each other, they support each other. And in this first novel, when they're first meeting each other, they kind of are all in on, you know, being there for one another, and they come together because they have a common goal, they have things that they want to achieve on this journey. But by the time they reach the end of the journey, they get what they want, but then they still turn to Dorothy and say, hey, we know you still have another leg of this journey to go on. We're going with you. You're not walking this road alone. And they could have just said, okay, we got what we wanted. Bye, have fun. But this is not a transactional relationship. They're all in. So, and they do so through vulnerability and through love. And they shed that desire to be just this one thing they thought was so important to them. And they become more self-actualized through this found family of friends.
And one of my favorite things, when they encounter any situation, a new character, uh, there is no, there's really no judgment there. They're taking them for what they are instantly, and I just think that's so exciting to not to see that in writing, and to not have part of the story and the plot be a judgment on somebody's appearance or character. They just take people for who they are, or these characters, and they become a part of their group and their family as they move through and navigate this world. I think that's so, I just love that.
Yeah, like which kind of is an amazing segue to another big theme of the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, which is chosen family and like queer kinship. And um this thing that each character is searching for something they feel they lack, but then they walk this road together. And the bond they form is less about what they're missing and more about how they can support each other. And I would love to know, like, when have you found strength by joining with others who share your journey?
Okay, well, I grew up dancing, so I've always been a part of a group. I have loved creating a community of friends and family with any any theater project I've been involved with, any dance project I've been involved with, and met some amazing people who, whether I get to see them on a daily basis or not, they're my lifelong friends. And I I think that's one of my favorite parts about being a theatrical person, is getting, not only getting to be in that world and experiencing that magic that has, but um, being just immersed in a group of people that's amazing and different, and they all have something different to bring. And yeah, I've met many families along the way.
Yeah, I think this is something that's universally experienced, and I think this is something especially that the LGBTQIA plus community can relate to. And forgive me if I am wrong on this, but we can't choose the family we're born into, and they don't always. The people who just happened to bring us here don't always understand us, don't always relate to us the way we would wish. And so, part of the growing up experience is going out into the world and finding the people who fulfill those roles. And I will never forget the first time I met a trans person, and it was in theater. We were doing a Rocky Horror Picture Show shadow cast, and that was the first time I ever met a trans person. And I was so excited to learn more about this, because this was before it was more mainstream, in more understood in a mainstream way. And I received such a beautiful education just getting to know this person and understand their journey. And they were right at the beginning of their transition moment. And it was beautiful to watch this person become their best self through this found family of theater people who held them up and made them feel safe and welcome and seen. And it was life affirming for all involved. And I will never forget that lesson, walking away from that group like, wow, truly changed for good. I mean, just eye opening. And it's so important as a cis straight woman to, and I would suggest this to any friends of Dorothy, go out there and immerse yourself in the LGBTQIA plus community. Allow yourself to be educated by just knowing people. It makes all the difference in the world. And it's such a beautiful experience. Um, but I found self-actualization through my found family of theater people, which then translated to the Oz community at large, which is now a very loving, warm, supporting, inclusive group. Um, and there are corners all over the place where you can find welcoming and happiness if you go out and you're if you have the courage to take that first step onto the yellow brick road and put yourself out there.
Friends of Dorothy. I love that. We have a question from the chat. Which of the Oz books or characters, in your opinion, are the most LGBT coded, if any of them? What stands out to you the most?
So we're only on book one, and but these relationships change and shift a lot throughout the book series. If you continue to read, which I hope you will, you'll definitely notice a shift in the relationship between the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman. And when the lovely Ozma comes onto the scene, Dorothy and her relationship is very queer coded throughout the remaining books. There is so much gender fluidity throughout, and there is so of course, there's nothing explicitly written as like these are LGBTQIA plus characters or these are queer characters, but because they weren't using language like that. But it's clear in the text what you're looking at, and it's so fun because they just come right out and say it like this is my life companion. And they're not afraid of that, and they're just so, and they love each other, they're warm, they're accepting. The palace in the Emerald City where they all frequent is a place of exploration and education and friendship. And it's when I love that L. Frank Baum wrote this, the wizard being the capitalist figure, the male capitalist figure. Oz is a certain way when he runs it, but once the women take over, there is a definite social shift in the way people are accepted.
Well, I can't wait to keep reading.
It's super fascinating, and for someone who really grew up with the MGM Judy Garland classic, movie, and you think of Emerald City, I mean, the book is just can't be any more different than the film. It cannot be. It's so different, and I didn't realize that Emerald City. I had my own in-person queer theater. Wow, queer visitors party last week, and I was asking people like, "Do you know how or why Emerald City is green?" And nobody knew. And it's like, well, it's because you wear the green colored glasses. The city is not actually green. You have to buy into this idea that it's green. And like, what does that say about when it comes to um, like illusion and camp and mystique and kind of drag, and who is um, benefiting from that and who's not, and who's being kind of told the truth, and what is kind of being shielded by us?
All of this keeps coming back around. I feel like they're all trying to give us a pair of glasses to look at our world and say, no, this is what's really happening. It's just all the same stuff comes back around.
So often when we're looking out at the world, we're being told, oh, what you're seeing is not what you're seeing, it's actually this. All of our lives are being filtered through a lens. um and I think it's important to remove the glasses and see the world for yourself, experience the world for yourself, meet as many people as you can, and get a broad understanding of humanity. And and again, this is something that's specific to the wizard's time as the ruler of Oz. Once he is deposed, the Emerald City actually they insert the emeralds. They make the Emerald City emerald again. And I think that's a really interesting choice on the part of the author.
This is a little maybe like too meta or like woo woo, but like, what do you think is the difference between the collective consciousness who has always wear the glasses. It's emerald to them versus the glasses are gone and the emeralds are actually in place. What's the difference to these people? It's all green to them. So I would love
Yeah,
to
but
like get into like
the difference is um, somebody tricking you into believing that something is a way that it is, as opposed to it being genuinely real. I mean, like, I feel like in our world right now, I can't tell what's real and what's not. Um, even if I'm seeing something with my own two eyes, so maybe I need to take off a pair of glasses. But yeah, I think just the idea of somebody trying to control and shape the way we're seeing the world, as opposed to taking off the glasses and letting it be, make it become what you want it to be or what you thought it was.
And I think there will always be people who are comfortable enough with the glasses. And if, as long as it looks green, that's okay. And then there are people who need to know the truth and are, I think there's a discomfort in taking the glasses off and seeing things as they are, but it's essential. Um, and this comes back to sitting in vulnerability and finding the courage to walk forward anyway. It's scary to see things as they are. We are very accustomed to looking at the world through Instagram filters and Photoshop, and but there is beauty in truth and the simple fact, like, oh, okay, the Emerald City is not emerald after all. What can we do to fix that? What is needed here to make this what we want it to be? I think it's aspirational to remove the glasses and look at what's wrong and then see what we can do to make it right.
And I'll
yeah,
volunteer to help dazzle it. So I'm there for it.
it's so subtle in the novel because they the gatekeeper makes you put on the glasses when you enter the city and then collects them when you're leaving. And in the novel, it's so subtle because Dorothy sort of kind of looks back at Oz and it's like, oh, everything's kind of white. It's not green. When the glasses are off, she kind of notices like, oh, it's not really green, but it's just very like passing. It wasn't a big moment in the book. She's like, oh, I just noticed this when I was leaving.
Yeah,
but
they didn't touch on it. But she looks down at herself and she's wearing a white silk dress instead of the green silk dress that she got dressed in, and she's like, that's odd. But they don't linger on it because again, I think to linger on what you see with your eyes, to linger on the fact that the glasses have slipped off. If you're not ready for that conversation, that's a really scary place to be. Just keep walking.
Ooh.
We'll confront this later.
It's also interesting though that they I think they claim that you need to wear the glasses because it's so brilliant in there that you can't take it in with your eyes, right? So that's also an interesting aspect, is to convince everyone to do something because of a reason that is false, and they all just go along with it. Nobody tries to take off their glasses and see the truth. It's That's so interesting.
I mean, it's the same with the wizard. It's this, this all-knowing, all-seeing being that's actually behind a curtain and doesn't let anyone see them in person. And it's just the same thing as the Emerald City itself. It's very fascinating. Um, Another thing about the novel I found very interesting. I mean, I'm always juxtaposing against the film because everyone knows the film, but the the killing of the Wicked Witch of the West is like not the main plot in the book. It's just like kind of like another chapter of the journey, which I thought was very interesting and doesn't make her this kind of incredible villain. Um, and then you also wonder how villainous is the Wicked Witch of the West because the Wizard of Oz is such a sham. You're like, how bad could she be?
She's
Um,
just a person. She's just trying to live a life. One of my
she
favorite
is.
things about the book is that it does leave so much room for other interpretations and creativity. And I love that people have been able to take this story and kind of create their own vision. And I just love that about it. So, the movie was on like once a year when I was a kid. And it's really difficult to remove that imaging from my brain when I'm reading the book, um, because somebody has created different storylines and a different vision out of that story. But I just think it's amazing that that was left. There was room there left to do that, for that possibility to happen. Sorry, I know that didn't have anything to do with the topic. I'm off topic.
It's okay. You know, the Wicked Witch of the West is an obstacle for Dorothy to overcome in the book, much more than a overarching villain. Margaret Hamilton gave such a compelling performance that she brought the Wicked Witch to a place of iconography. But in the book, she's just another thing Dorothy has to do to get to where she's going. And we confront those little nuisances day in and day out, people that we don't like, teachers that give us a hard time, bosses who are just a pain. We confront little wicked witches every single day that we walk through the world.
I don't leave the house just so I can avoid those things, just so you know, Tori. I'm just kidding.
But really the bigger villain here, the villain that really we never call a villain because he's so charming, is the wonderful wizard himself. He sends this child on a murder quest. Why? Because the witches are a direct threat to his power because they know he has no real power. And if they gain any footing, he will be outed as the unremarkable and unpowerful man that he is. And so getting rid of the witch and using this kid to do it, if she does it, great, one less witch. And if she doesn't, okay, this kid's out of my hair. So the real villain here is not the one who is, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Wicked Witch is wicked. She's enslaved a whole race of people. But she's not the big boss, if you will.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. Another thing that was very foreign to me and very new was the fact that they visit this entire community area of Oz where it's all made of China, everything. The people, it's insane. I'm like, this is crazy. And it's such an interesting study on experiencing other cultures and respect and reverence. And I would love just to like get your takes on that chapter of the book and kind of unpack that whole part of the book.
I love the dainty China country. It's they find these people on the way to the south after the wizard has left in his balloon. Dorothy still has to find a way home, and she's advised to see the good witch of the south. So they start their journey to Glinda. And that is when they come upon the dainty China country. And at first, it's just a wall. And they're like, gee, there's this wall in our way. It would take us a long time to go around it. Let's just climb over it. The Tin Man builds them a ladder because he's a mensch. They climb the ladder, they get down to the other side, and they find this world of breakable people, very fragile, breakable people. And they accidentally break a church. They crack a few people, and they are genuinely like sorry for what they've done. And the people of dainty China country don't seem to judge them very harshly for it. Dorothy picks up a beautiful China princess and says, I'd love to take you home and put you on my mantle. And she says, well, if you do that, then I won't have sentience anymore. So please don't. And Dorothy respects her boundaries and puts her back. And yeah, I think it's a very important lesson in respecting cultural norms and also respecting boundaries and the idea of consent. Dorothy could have said, well, too bad. I'm bigger than you. I'm putting you in my pocket and I'm taking you with me and you'll like it. But Dorothy's a loving and accepting person. who treats others the way she wants to be treated. And so she puts her back where she found her, and they tiptoe the rest of the way through the land and they leave. It's a lovely little aside, and it's so whimsical and so typical of Baum's writing.
I kind of wish somebody would have brought that scene to life in a film version.
They
That
have.
would be. They have.
They have. There are a couple of adaptations that include the China Country, and that would be
Oh, great.
Oz the Great and Powerful. Wouldn't recommend. Or Legends of Oz: Dorothy's Return actually features the Dainty China Country, and the China Princess is played by Megan Hilty and is in the story the whole time. So
Amazing.
if you'd like to see some China Country representation, you can check out those adaptations.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's interesting how when Dorothy first gets there, she sort of fetishizes some of the people because she's like, "Oh, I've had a China doll at home. I miss home. I love you because you remind me of home." And then the person's like, "No, don't touch me. This is not. This is. I'm not your plaything." And then she quickly gets it, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. No more." So yeah, just to echo your points, Tori. It's yeah.
Because it's not about walking through the world and making zero mistakes. Especially when you're meeting people with whom you are not familiar with their culture and their expectations. The idea is not to make zero mistakes; it's to do your best to learn from your mistakes. I went to Paris this summer, and I'm sure all of you have heard the rumors that how rude people in Paris are, and oh, don't go to Paris; they're so awful. And I was nervous to insult people by being American. And what I found was that if you try your best to speak French and you're respectful of their culture, they were very kind. And if you ask them, if you say bonjour and then followed by, I'm so sorry, do you speak English? They are like, oh, yeah, of course. They appreciate the effort. So I think it's important the lesson we can draw from the chapters around the dainty China country is just to do your best to be respectful. And usually that respect is given when you try your best.
Another thing I found really interesting was the Tin Woodsman,
Mm.
of how he became tin, and this kind of graphic writing of chopping off limbs, and at the end of the day did not want the human form back, but wanted a heart. And kind of what does that mean when it comes to transformation or external versus internal? I don't know, like, any thoughts? Or yeah, I guess that's my prompt.
I always saw the Tin Woodman story as the tragedy that can befall you when you lose yourself in love. Because when you
Hmm.
find a loving partner, I think it's easy sometimes to lose who you are in the new duo, the new relationship. And he ends up losing literal pieces of himself until he is a completely transformed being. And then he doesn't even recognize the love he felt anymore. And his goal no longer becomes to resume being the person he was before, but just to regain that loving feeling. Where did it go? Well, it's because he lost his love of self. And maintaining who you are and continuing to love yourself no matter who else you are devoting yourself to. I think that's the lesson I always drew from the Tin Woodman story.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Nana?
Well, I mean, he's the hottest one, so I am fine with his.
Okay, quick aside, the gals from Down the Yellow Brick Pod and I always debate this because I'm a Scarecrow girly, but we've got one who's a Jack Haley lover. So the Tin Man Scarecrow debate, who's the hottest? You decide. I'd love to see in the comments. Are you Team Scarecrow, Team Tin Woodman, or are we going another way? Are there any Team Lion out there?
Okay. Kill, kiss, marry. Who are we doing in the, in the first book?
Oh shoot!
Oh, okay.
Tori, you first.
Okay, well, I'd kiss Dorothy because she's gorgeous. Love, love, love. If she was of age and consented. I would marry the Scarecrow. Stability there, you know. He's got a good head on his shoulders. And kill the wizard. We don't need any more of these capitalist men running around.
Okay, I am gonna kiss the Tin Woodman because I think he's hot. I'm gonna marry the Scarecrow, same reason that you do, Tori. And I think the lion would make a gorgeous rug in my living room.
Oh my God.
I'm just
Well,
kidding. No one takes that seriously.
full blessings to y'all's poly relationship with the
Yes.
Scarecrow. Yeah, love that. Scarecrow sister wives coming to TLC this winter. But I mean, also speaking of the Scarecrow, I found it so interesting that like obviously he's the smartest one of the bunch and always comes up with these crazy ideas and like helping them get through like this river crossing and all these like crazy ideas. But then like two times I want to say during the book, it's he gets unstuffed and restuffed with whole new straw and then gets totally like disassembled and like devoured by the flying monkeys and is literally like nothing anymore. But then like somehow comes back together and is like the same person. And I'm like, okay, well, besides the magic of Oz, like, what does that say about transformation and like rebuilding yourself, rebuilding your body? Like, how can you get rid of everything that used to be and then still be the same person? It just, yeah.
I mean, I feel like I've been unstuffed and stuffed in my a lot of times throughout my life, right? And that sounded weird, but I didn't mean it. I meant it to be as somebody taking apart my character or picking apart me as a human, and you have to figure out how to rebuild yourself and become that person only even better this time.
I think that's the fantasy. You're never quite the same when you've been disassembled and put back together. You always lose something and you gain some things. We are all mosaics of the people and places we've been and loved. Um,
Are you saying I'm missing something, Tori?
Not at all, darling. I'm saying that you've added on more beautiful bangles and bungles along the way. I think I think what's lovely about the scarecrow, and I think this is something we can all aspire to because we will all be unstuffed and put back together throughout our lives, is to attempt to not lose our ability to love and to live lives of service. Because I see the scarecrow as a character who really lives a life of service. He finds his love language is service to others. He's always gathering nuts and filling Dorothy's basket for her and covering her with dry leaves to make sure she's not cold at night. And he's coming up with plans to make sure that they're comfortable and safe. So I see his role in the group as the person who loves through service. And
That's
um,
why I'm going to marry him.
exactly, he's husband material, and he's he doesn't lose the ability to love and care for others no matter how many times he's been put back together. And that's something that I find very aspirational and hope that I can rise to the occasion too. But also, he's not perfect. He's also um he's somebody who trips along the way and falls down, and his friends pick him back up and don't judge him for that. They keep helping him move forward. Um it's a lovely demonstration of their dynamic and why they all work so well together.
And everything's an opportunity for growth, right? So even being torn apart and put back together, you're going to learn something from that experience. It's going to make you stronger in the end.
Mm, love that. Um, well, we have about 10 minutes left. I'm gonna open up the stage and see what that looks like. I think we have a really good crowd tonight with a really amazing lit up chat. So let's see what this looks like if we open the stage up. So I believe this allows anyone to kind of pop on the screen and maybe ask a question. So if you would like to ask Tori or Nana a question that's respectful and on brand without getting kicked out, I will. You're allowed, or you're able to, I guess, to walk up to the stage or throw something in the chat if you want to ask something to Tori or Nana about them or their journey of Oz outside of the novel. I will invite everyone to visit. Oh,
I didn't know it was going to be automatic like that.
Hi.
Hi. Jonathan, thank you so much for putting this together. I just think this is amazing. And Tori and Nana, I love you both. Tori, I was the one asking you silver slippers or ruby slippers over the weekend because I went and saw The Wiz in Nashville yesterday.
Oh my gosh, did you get it?
Well, it rained, so Veronica didn't get to go. So I went, but I did wear silver slippers and did my emeralds. And Nana, I just love everything that you do. You're such an amazing inspiration. But I wanted to say, in regards to queer voices and queer visitors, I think that you are both queer visitors in so many of people's lives because you are part of, like Tori, I love watching your content every day. And I think that it's amazing, even for somebody who may not walk the LGBT path personally. You have been such an inspiration to me as somebody who just watches content, but I love the Oz lore. And to be honest, you have made me a Wicked fan because I never really was before. But I love the fact that you have consistently been a partner to LGBT people and pushing the queer Oz book. I forget the name of the title of that book that you talk about. And I just think that both of you are so courageous to be so outspoken for LGBT issues. And I love the fact that we, 125 years later, are using the story of Oz to come together and promote queerness and acceptability and the idea of a journey. And I think that's so cool. And I appreciate you both so much. And Tori, I just adore your content. And Nana, I love what you're doing with your new small business, because that's also about endurance and giving a big middle finger to society that says queer people aren't worthy of a journey or of winning. And you guys both do such a great job of doing that. And I really appreciate you guys both.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I don't know how to turn the stage off, but Jonathan, I don't know if you do it on your side.
I'm going to gracefully exit you from the stage.
Thank you so much.
So that was Veronica Electronica, who is our Nashville Drag Story Hour chapter director. So please look her up. And if you ever visit Nashville and want to do a drag story hour or see some amazing Tennessee drag, check Veronica Electronica out.
And the book Veronica was mentioning, by the way, if anybody is interested, it's called Queer Oz. The author is Tyson Pugh, and it's a book all about the queer coding and themes throughout all of L. Frank Baum's novels, and it's a really interesting read. I would strongly recommend if you want to learn more about this topic.
Maybe one of our next books for queer visitors should be Queer Oz.
Let's do it.
Yes.
We have about 5 minutes left, but I encourage y'all to visit our link tree with queer visitors. We have mapping your own Oz journey where you can print these out or do it online. We would love for you to post. It asks different questions and poses different ways of your journey and who has helped you along the way, what deserts, what challenges, what wicked witches that you've come across, what wizards you had to encounter. It's kind of like a fun way of thinking about your queer diaspora in like a new kind of fun way with the book. So check that out. Yeah, and thank you both for doing this and being part of this. This is our inaugural Queer Visitors, so we'll only get bigger and better, and I will get tighter with my tech.
So sorry about that, guys. That was all me.
Never. No.
I'm just excited I get to be here.
You're like, I'm excited just to be here. It's great.
I'm excited to be. I can keep going for a couple more hours.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, do you guys want to
Yeah.
keep?
I love that for y'all. I will be leaving. It's 9 p.m. on the East Coast. I got dinner waiting for me.
Before
so
we I can encourage everybody here to go to your local libraries, check out if they have the Oz books. If they don't request that they get them, they're great reads, and there's so much wisdom to be found throughout all of the novels. So keep reading.
Yes.
Tori, I love your enthusiasm. I love seeing your face every day.
Thank you, Nana. I love seeing your face.
Well, you're gonna see a lot more of it coming up. I have a new shtick I'm gonna try out.
Ooh.
It involves an old-fashioned telephone.
Ooh.
It's behind a paywall, so just kidding.
Jonathan.
Now.
So you get a little bit spicy. We get a little bit spicy. It's fine.
Well, I wasn't sure what rating this had. PG, R. I think we were pretty G today.
The NC-17 version is for later.
Oh, wow. That would be
Visitors After Dark.
Yeah. So I think it's time to announce our winner
for
the Tweak giveaway. So this giveaway, so thank you so much. Shout out to Oddman and Twink for connecting with us and wanting to do this giveaway with us. It is an Oz book pin. It's an Emerald City Express ticket mini pin, a Emerald City postcard, and a vinyl sticker of Emerald City. It's like super cute, y'all. And you should check out Oddman and Tweak just in general, if you just love books and just love Oz things, or Wicked. If you're a Wicked fan, you really gotta check them out. But I'm gonna announce the winner because I have it handy, and yeah. So our winner for the giveaway is Flor Coles, if I pronounce this correctly. I will put your situation, your handle and name in the chat.
Yay!
Maybe y'all can even follow along.
Good job, Flor. You did it.
Yeah. So we will be reaching out to you via DM. So if you give us a good mailing address or PO box, we would love to send that to you ASAP. Oh, look! And Dylan from Oddman and Tweak says, hi! Cute.
Hi! Love you guys.
Amazing. So thank you for joining us. Please check out our website. Connect with us on Instagram. Check out for local queer visitors get-togethers and gatherings that are happening. The next book we'll be reading is The Marvelous Land of Oz in October. We will have a whole new set of guests joining us for that virtual experience. And get ready because we're going to be reading Oz up until the new Wicked movie comes out. So this is a really great primer for that. So
exciting.
Thank y'all so much. Do we know which? Ooh, good question. I'm going to say not Halloween because no one would show up. We will let you know, Jasmine, probably October 20, maybe October 23rd. Sounds cute. But we'll let you know, and we'll announce it on our newsletter and Instagram. But thank you so much, Nana. Thank you so much, Tori. This has been really cool. We could talk about this for hours. Yeah. And yeah, where can we find y'all for people to connect to y'all going forward?
Where can you find me? Is that the question?
If we want to follow the Nana Tuckit and Oz vlog experience, where do we go? Where do we go?
Yeah, Tori, where are you? Are you everywhere?
I can be found on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube primarily. I have a Twitter, but don't bother trying to reach me there. I don't read it. All of those are at the Oz Vlog. That's TheOzVlog.
Same for me. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Nana Tuckit with an IT.
Amazing, y'all. Thank you so much. And yeah. The stage is still open. Anybody have any like last words or things they want to say? Any beautiful compliments for our hosts?
Anybody want to say anything
jump
here? No questions? Anything? Anybody?
Questions, comments, catharsis. We'll take it all.
This chat is lit. It just keeps going on and on. Yeah, Tori, enjoy your like your Oz. What are you on right now? Can you give me the name? Your Oz retreat? Is that what you're doing?
We returned from our Oz retreat last week. We went to Chittenango, the birthplace of L. Frank Baum, to meet and greet with 30 fellow Ozians for a weekend of Oz fun. And we do that every year. So if that's something that interests you, please join us next year. We love having you. And right now I'm in Los Angeles doing some wicked things. And then back to the East Coast I go tomorrow, and then back to LA again. We'll just be going back and forth a lot over the next couple of months. So keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes to the western skies. Lots of fun things coming that I can't tell you about yet, but I can't wait till
I love the mystery. It's great.
So exciting.
And what's on the horizon for you going forward?
Who, me? Well, I need to get myself out there a little more. These days I've been kind of like hunkered down at home trying to start a new business, and the state of the world has affected me a little more than I was willing to admit to myself. So I am going to launch a new little fun thing that I've been cooking up in my brain that will involve a red telephone that is a hotline. But I'm not going to tell you what kind of hotline it is. You'll have to wait to find out.
the mystery continues.
That's like the best level of information. I'm obsessed. Obsessed with you both. Thank you so much.
You said you liked a mystery.
Nancy Drew, baby. Here she is. Giving the flashlight.
Jonathan, do we need to let go eat dinner?
Yeah, probably. It's a little after 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Thank you all for tuning in. The next book is The Marvelous Land of Oz. Check out your local library for the book, or go to your favorite indie bookstore and buy it. And we will keep you up to date with the next book, y'all. I can't believe this is the launch. Thank you so much. Please text Queer Visitor to 44321, or there is a donation in the chat if you want to throw us a couple of dollars to Drag Story Hour. We're a nonprofit organization, so any amount of money really helps us keep going and gets free programming out. And honey, in this world, we need more queer visibility and reading books and talking about authority just in general. So this is the bar is so low here. Like, yeah, it's wild. Thank you all so much. Have a great night, and see you on the Yellow Brick Road.
Yes. Good night.